There's a way consciousness is being approached by abantu abamnyama. I'll speak for South Africans because I'm also part of that wave of abantu that came out through this awakening. We go through a phase where we are very angry with the Christian God because of the disposition of abantu abamnyama, blackness as a whole. Why was he quiet during apartheid? Why was he quiet during slavery? Our ancestors were genocided, they were brutalized, totally defeated. While there was a God or Yahweh in heaven. Then from there you start exploring other ideas of coming to God. You start looking at exploring the scriptures that were not added into the Bible, or the scriptures that were removed from the Bible. You start learning about other gods, or you start prying into the Canaanite gods, the El, the Enkis, the Enlil, the Ningishita, like Damuzi, and you start learning about all these other gods. And you find out about all these ideas of how these gods or these space beings, they come to earth, they give us knowledge, and then they vanish. And somehow this knowledge that they always give us, we always end up fighting over this knowledge, or fighting their wars actually. Any culture that claims to be in contact with certain either terrestrial or whatever they are calling it, whether it's Yahweh or wherever there's a deity that is sitting in the stars in the sky, those cultures are always fighting that deity's wars. They are always going into battle, fighting the wars of the deity. I mean, if you look at the Bible, it's filled with such stories. Israel, I mean, their move from Egypt to Canaan is just filled with wars. Slaughter them, get them out of the way, because I am the God. When we reach adulthood, we get to a state where we realize that, okay, there's this Bible God who was mighty, who is supposedly being worshipped in the Christian context, but the political disposition that I am in as umuntu omnyama is, we lost it all. We were butchered, we were maimed. Actually, umuntu omnyama is the Canaanites that the Bible talks about. Decimate them, remove them. These idol worshippers. And this can bring one to a psychosis of sorts. And so to soothe now, to make the pain less, we start entertaining the ideas of, actually, what if God is black? What if God is black? What if the Hebrews were black? What if we just go around with this paintbrush? Shakespeare was black. King Alexander was black. Anything that we feel we can attach or claim, anything that is not us or anything that is not ourselves, we cling to it. Yes, they were all black, but it never really addresses the issue that, why do we die? Why do we die like flies? Why is history filled with the slaughter of abantu abamnyama? It's never really addressed until you find the Hebrew Israelite movement, which will take you to Deuteronomy 28. It's like, the script is a self-fulfilling prophecy. It takes you to Deuteronomy 28 that you left God, you turned your back against God. That is why you've gone through what you've gone through. And if that's the case, then it means God has now another chosen nation that he has, which is enacting this violence against his his ex-chosen nation. It gives this theme that we are an ex with God. We are managing a relationship with an ex, or we are co-parenting, if we were to put it like that. That is the situation that it leaves one with. And so there are many youth who are currently being indoctrinated. They thought they were moving away from Christianity to find themselves in the isms of Hebrew Israelites. They're being redoctrinated that you are a sinner, you've done something wrong, turn back to the black God. Turn back to the black Yahweh who's got copper-looking skin and woolly-like hair. And we do this fervently, earnestly. The same earnestness we have as Christians. But the question still remains, why do we die? For whatever reason, it never really hits us that, yes, we may convert everyone into being Hebrew Israelites except this Yahweh, this bloodthirsty Yahweh deity. But it is not addressing the issue of why are we dying like flies? Why are we at the bottom? Why are we bottom feeders? That question is just hidden. It's never addressed. We leave it at that belief that if we all turn back to Yah, we will be fine. And then we never deal with the hard reality that we are in the position that we are in the position because we lost through being immense, through being colonized or overpowered, basically. We lost the skills of how to erect and sustain civilizations, the basic. Yes, we are very proud of what our ancestors were able to start up, to build these great civilizations, but we have lost that knowledge. And while we are prancing around as Hebrew Israelites, Abakhulu baseKhenu, hey, we hail from Egypt, we are this, we are that. We never address this issue that we lost the keys of building civilizations, like the most basic keys. Building a home, building a sustainable home for the environment that you are in, building a home without spending, without going into build it, or without going. We don't have that skill. Purifying our own water, warming our homes, electrifying our homes, that is the skill that we've lost. When we are in these religions and these isms, we never look at where we are as a matter of this is the pressing issue. The pressing issue is always if we can get everyone to become Hebrew Israelite, the same way we were proselytizing for Christianity. If we can get the whole world to be Christians, if we can go into Hindu and turn those Hindus into Christians, if we can go into deep dark Africa and turn them into Christians, then everything will be fine in the world. That's what we're doing as Hebrew Israelites. Some have turned to Kemet spirituality. It's the same thing. They are proselytizing for Kemet spirituality. But the basics, the fundamentals of civilization, the fundamentals for being here, even for animals know how to, like birds, for example, they know how to build their own shelters. They know how to self-navigate their environment so that they can survive. We don't have that. And instead of addressing that, we've lost that rather. And instead of addressing that, we've become Hebrew Israelite. We've become Kemetists. And then there's another brand where the Christian way and the Dlozi way. I don't have an issue with these systems because they are systems, they are tools. Ayikho era more right than the other. They are just tools, the spirituality. Spirituality pertains to that which is airy. And for many of us, we do not attend to the spirituality side where you take the airiness now and you understand how light falls into materialization, into matter. The area now where we need to study light or the cause of things as physics, we are not getting there. But the reasons for that, again, because We do not understand that we have lost the basics for being here, being able to self-sustain, build shelter, warm that shelter or cool that shelter, depending where you are. Grow what you're going to eat. I'm not trying to speak about a utopian system where there's no government. I'm not anti-government. Government is actually made up by us. We are the individuals that fill up these government offices. The people that fill in government offices are not bred in a separate place somewhere. They come from our communities. So I'm not anti-government. I know there's people who say let's just leave everything and go live somewhere in the mountains, forget about society. And no, that is not what I'm saying. The issue of how to navigate or how to be here as human beings, be in the now, it is never addressed. Among us, there are those also who have mixed this knowledge with the remnants of what has remained through the wars and the decimation that has happened to our systems that we had as abantu abamnyama. Bazothi, if all Africans go back to isintu, if all Africans acknowledge their ancestors, then Africa will be right. We will be okay. And there again, that is where the conversation is. Let's proselytize. Let's convert. We're gonna tease the Christians. You're stupid. This is where you should be. This thing was brought by the enslavers, and this and that. And that's where it ends. The fundamentals are never addressed. And there's a realization that is still awaiting many of us, and which is this. We can all say, all of us today, just somehow we all turn back to isintu, sonke sesiyaphahla, we have not acknowledged our ancestors, we're doing everything right. It will still not change the fact that whatever our ancestors were worshipping, they were worshipping those beings when they lost it. When they were losing the wars, they were worshipping those beings. And this is what happens when you fight the wars of the gods. In the politics of the gods, men die. And when I talk about the gods, I'm not talking about the cause of everything that is around us. I'm talking about the civilizations or the races that have been here longer than us, and thus acquired certain information that we'll also probably get to, given a chance, in a few billion years or whatever. And so to us, they look like gods. Civilizations that left the earth, say maybe 500,000 years ago, when they return to us, they look like gods. You can't leave your, whether it be through spaceship or portal or through wormhole travel, whatever you want to call it, you can't leave your natural area or leave the space that you were created to dwell in and live in other spaces and then still retain your physique, and you're going to change. And every time humanity, or any time the less evolved is involved in these wars, it is us that die, not the gods. The gods don't fight their own wars. Is it not weird that in Christianity, it was inculcated into us from an early age, your help will come from the sky. One day, the sky in the east, you will see a hand looking like a cloud, and uJesu uzobuya, and he will rid everything that is wrong in this world. Is it not amazing that those that we look up to, like Ubabu Credo Mutu, like Ubabu Vusamazulu Credo Mutu, they will tell you the same story, that there are beings that left eons ago, and when they return, there will be changes on earth. They will bring balance back to the earth. Why? In Christianity, you are being told about a God that is going to come from the sky and take you to the sky. When you really get into Isintu, when you get into the mythologies of Isintu, what sometimes some of us would call history, which is actually folklore, you find it's still the same thing. There are these sky beings, or beings that come from emanzini, or beings that come from underground. And every time these beings come, they want our worship. But they are not gods. Oh, they are gods, sorry. They are gods, but they are not the ground of being that has everything thingying around us. Yes, these more advanced civilizations or interdimensional beings, whatever you want to call them, the children, you want to call them Enki, the Sumerian aliens, you want to call them the Syrians, the ones from the Kiridao, as Baba Muta would put it, whatever you want to call them. They are, it's narrated to us that they are gods. They created this, or they created the humanoid that we see in this shape. Or there's another narrative which says they found the primates here, and they sped up the primate, the evolution of the primate. Whatever they did, they are not the source of awareness. They are not the ground of being, because whatever they create, it is put together the same way a builder will put together bricks and mortar and build a house. They are not the creators of consciousness. They are part of existence which is outside our senses. And because of that, they can manipulate us, if you will. Is it not weird or worrisome that in Christianity there's a structure of a kingship? You move from Christianity, you come to Kemet spirituality or Isintu. There is a what? There is a culture of a kingship. Like right now in South Africa, there's people running around trying to reclaim their kingship, the kingship that were taken by through colonialism or through infighting. Everyone is trying to claim kingship because deep down there is this belief that if you are of those royal bloodlines, then these beings had some form of communication with you. It's still a system. It's still a trap to have us in servitude and not doing what we actually came here to do, which is to expand our awareness. So many of us are, it's either a Yahweh, an Enki, an Enlil, a being in a cave, or inzunza esemanzini, or in Kanyamba. There is always something that we must be bowing to. And whenever we bow to these things, we fight. I don't know if you've realized this. We go to war fighting for things we do not understand. The journey of awakening for Umuntu Omnyama is a script. It's a pre-written script. And getting out of it, man, getting out of it. Is there getting out of it? I guess we will find out.